Take a moment, look at the disclaimer. This content is for educational, information, entertainment purposes only, and nothing should be taken as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any securities at any time. We're here just to tell you how BTA look at the market, how we analyze the markets. This is Rod from BTA, and we are known as the middle traders. Now, this is part 2 of our ETF analysis. Today's date is 6/14/2022. And this is a daily chart you're looking at here of the QQQs. So this is not going to be long, because if you looked at part 1, which we analyzed the DIA and the SPY, the SPY, the ETF that tracks the Dow Jones and the Standard & Poor's 500, you're going to get the picture relatively quickly, because it kind of looks the same. So here's the QQQs, the ETF that tracks the NASDAQ, specifically the NASDAQ 100. Okay, and as you can see, the prices are below this white line here, which is our 5-day moving average right here. So you got a downward trending 5-day moving average, and prices are trading below it. You got a downward trending 9-day moving average and a downward trending yellow 21-day moving average. Listen, prices are below a downward trending 5-day moving average. That's our short-term momentum moving average. If prices are below that and it's downward trending, there's no way, no how we are going to buy that stock, ETF, or whatever. You got a downward trending 5-day moving average. It's nothing to talk about. Until that changes, it's nothing to talk about. We need to see prices get back above this downward trending 5-day moving average. And if that doesn't happen, there's nothing to discuss. So this is a daily chart of QQQs. You see that. Now, here is our structural chart, daily structural chart, with our our trend lines, and support and resistance areas, okay, for the QQQs. And you can see here, we identified this sideways consolidation, okay, over the last about 10 trading days. We broke out of that, okay, and I put up a little email telling you all congratulations to everyone who made money the last 4 trading days, and thank you for your kind words of appreciation. But look, nothing is advice, right? We know I do not give financial advice. I'm just sharing BTA's analysis, and we are the stock market masters, the top analysts. Well, at least one of the top. Okay, so look, all right, here we are testing this downward trending internal trend line right here for the last 2 days. We traded right down to it yesterday, Monday. We opened up, traded down to it today, which is Tuesday, and we bouncing off of this internal trend line. Maybe I need to expand this so you can see it a little better. Okay, maybe I need to expand this. Okay, so here we touch these internal trend lines right here. But we got this overhead prior support, which is now resistance. We need to get back above this level at 280.21. Right now we at 275.99. So right around that 280 level, we need to get back above that. If we hit this here horizontal resistance area and get rejected and trade back down, we don't want to get caught between this area and riding this downward trend line here. That's not a good thing, because that means it's going lower. Okay, we don't want to see that, right? So we'd like to see it bounce off this internal trend line, head back up, break above the support level, and try to get back above that 5-day moving average we just identified. So the Qs is trading below this prior low. All right, we talked about the fact that if we break below this consolidation phase and trade back below this long-term red weekly trend horizontal support level, break back within this consolidation downward channel right here, that was a possibility we could test these lows. Well, we tested it. Okay, we broke below it, testing it, see if it's going to trade below it. All right, but we need to get back above this prior low. Now remember, this was the low Okay, these prior lows was the low of the double bottom formation we talked about, and this is the pivot to break above the middle area of this double bottom. All right, but now it's pulling back. Okay, and it's not a really good head and shoulders, so that's not going to work out. All right, we just traded back down, tested the lows. Okay, 3 pushes to the downside. Well, let's see what happened. All right, so right now we just need to get back above 280. We need to get back above the 5-day moving average on the daily chart. Look, it's clear here. This is our RSI, the relative strength index, right here. Okay, we tried to get back above 50. It pulled back, got back below 50, and now we're on the wrong side of the 50-yard line. The bears, the sellers are in control. We're below the 50. We below the 50 level. Okay, on the RSI, that's the yellow horizontal line. We're below 40. Bears are fully in control. We didn't get all the way back to 30 to the oversold level, but they're in control right now. Now look, the money flow just ticked red here, but we can't seem to stay okay in the green. We go green for a couple of days, turn back red. Go green for a couple of days, turn back red. Well, right now it's turning to the negative right here. We don't want to see it start expanding to the negative like back here, but that means that the money is coming out of the QQQs and is going to continue to the downside. We don't want to see that. All right. So the QQQs on the daily charts, all right, the momentum is clearly to the downside. The bears got control of the momentum. All right. We have broke below the 5-day moving average, and the 5-day is turning down along with the 9 and the 21-day. And we below 280. We back below those prior lows, and we got the 280 level holding that resistance. That's the bottom line. So we have to wait and see. Let's look at the weekly chart. Okay. So let's go to, that's the weekly chart of lowest, but that's not what I want to show you. I want to show you the weekly chart with the moving averages. Now, we talked about this new moving average that I put here, which is the 150 week moving average, right? We talked about that. Well, for the QQQs, we broke below the 150-week moving average, and we're coming back to the 200-week moving average. Now, look, this 200-week moving average has to hold that support. We break below the 200-week moving average. We don't do that too often. The bottom can fall out if that happens. So right now, we stuck below 150-week moving average up top and the 200-week moving average down below, okay? So that's where we at. We need to see the QQQs on this weekly chart get back, start moving back up, get back above this 150-week, get back above this downward trending 8-week and this downward trending 13-week moving average right here, and then we can see what happens from there. But we got to get above the 5-day moving average on the daily chart. We got to get back above this 150-week moving average on this weekly chart of the QQQs. That's the bottom line, okay? The Qs are below some very key long-term moving averages. That's not good, okay? That's not good, all right? Let's look at the structural chart for the Qs. And as you can see, we back. I'm going to expand this just a little bit so you can see it. Let me expand this just a little bit. And you can see we back below this trend line coming from way back in those March 2020 lows. We broke below it, and we right here. We're trading below those trend lines. Not good, okay? We want to get back above those trend lines, definitely, all right? And we don't want to come back down here and start testing this 265 level, 265.17, okay? That's this horizontal red long-term weekly support level. 265.17. We start testing that 265.17. That means we testing back here. That means we're getting close, and we're testing that 200-week moving average, right? That 200-week moving average at 263.10. Okay, so if we start getting down there testing that, if the 200-week moving average is at 263.10, okay, 263.10, we don't want to start testing that this horizontal support level, because that's at 265.17 right here. All right, we start testing that, we get mighty close to the 200-week moving average. All right, so this here, we don't want to break this horizontal. Definitely don't want to break this horizontal long-term support level at 265.17. We start breaking that. The next level is 258.91, which is right here, the next horizontal long-term support level. We break those two. We start breaking this bottom one at 258, then that means we're definitely below the 200-week moving average. After that, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't come back down to this horizontal support level at 237. So we need to hold support on this weekly structural chart right here. We need to hold support there. That's the bottom line, okay? Now, let's go back to the daily charts and let's take a look at the IWM. We'll finish up with the IWM real quick. It's not going to be that long. Here it is. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, here's the IWM. Okay, and we're on the weekly chart. Let's go back down to the daily chart. Let's look at the IWM. Let's bring up the daily chart here. All right, let me pull this up a little bit so you can see this price action. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the moving averages first because it's nothing to talk about. We're below a five-day downward trending 5-day moving average. Look, you can't. We would never go long a stock that's below the 5-day moving average. Okay, a downward trending 5-day moving average. Here it is. Here's the downward trending 5-day moving average. Is white line. We got a downward trending green line, which is a 9-day moving average, and we below the 21-day. This yellow line, which is a 21-day moving average. The yellow 21-day moving average. We're below all of that. Okay, so this downward trending 5-day moving average, it's nothing to talk about. We're below it. Definitely is not going to go long any stock that's below a downward trending 5-day moving average. Like I told you, that's our momentum. Short-term momentum moving average. We're below that, it's a problem. Well, the IWM came down on the structural chart, this daily chart, the structural chart with our support and resistance level in the trend line. We came down and we tested these lows. Point blank and period. We tested it. We didn't break below the lowest low right here at 168.90. We didn't break below. Well, we broke below it, but we didn't close below it. Right now we have 169.57. Okay. 169.57. So we tested it, we held it, we didn't close below it yet. We held this here downward trending internal trend line. We tested it, closed back above it. So let's see if we can hold support at these two support levels right here and start moving back up. Hopefully we could get back above this overhead resistance, which was prior support, this prior low here, okay, this prior low right here, which was prior support, but now acting as resistance. And we got to get back above this long-term trend line from the lows way back in 2020. This here internal trend line right here, this trend line going across the lows rather, is going way back from 2020, the low of 2020. We broke below that. We testing this low right here. Let's see if we can get back above this trend line, get back above this previous low right here. Okay, and then we should be back above that 5-day moving average, and then we can start making some analysis on whether or not is it any opportunity to go long. But as long as we're below a downward trending 5-day moving average, it's nothing to talk about. Okay, let's look at the momentum on the RSI and the check and money flow. Okay, well, the RSI broke back below 50. Right, here's the 50 level on the RSI. We broke back below 50. We got back below 40. We're moving down toward oversold levels. Okay, moving down to oversold levels on the RSI. Let me expand this so you can see it a little better. Okay, so we're back below 50. This yellow horizontal line here is the 50 level. We're back below 50. We're back below these dotted lines, which is the 40 level. We're coming down there at 30. Check and money flow is still positive. Okay, so the IWM, the money is not completely out of the IWM yet. Okay, you can see here when it's turned negative, that's telling you in the red here, that's telling you the money is completely out. It's not out yet, okay? So there's still some hope that the IWM might be able to find a bottom and maybe get back above that 5-day moving average, okay? Well, let's go to the weekly chart real quick, okay? Let's just take a look at the weekly chart, see what the weekly chart is telling us, right? Let's go to the moving averages real fast. Well, you see it, okay? You see what's happening on this weekly chart. We're below the 150-week moving average, and we're below the 200-week moving average right here. This is the 150-week moving average. This is a 200-week moving average. We're below all of it. We're below a downward trending 4-week moving average. I'm sorry, and we're below an 8-week moving average, which is the green line, and we're below the 13-week moving average, which is the yellow line, and all of them are pointing down. We got to get back above this 200-week moving average right here and this 150-week moving average and all these downward trending long-term moving averages. The IWM got a lot of work to do. Bottom line, this is not a chart that we will be looking to go long with all of this long-term overhead resistance sitting right above our head. That's a very dangerous chart to trade right there. Even if you get above the 5-day moving average, you got a lot of long-term overhead resistance right there. Key long-term moving averages, 200 weeks, 150 week, 8 week, 4 week, 13 weeks, the last 3 months. Look, man, come on, stop. All right? Don't be ridiculous. Nobody has money to give away. Okay? We're smarter than that. We're not going to go for it. This chart, this IWM is a very dangerous chart to trade right now. Okay, here's the structural chart. We're coming back down. We're testing these horizontal support levels here at 170 and around 170, around 168.90. It's basically this prior low right here. We're testing that. We got this internal trend line coming way back from March 2020. Well, we're below that internal trend line, and we're testing this support level. We break that. We're already below the 150 week. We're already below the 200 week. We're already below the 100 week. I don't see no reason why it's not a possibility that it could come back down, test this internal trend line here, and test this low, this horizontal red line right here, okay? I don't see why it couldn't come back down and test this if we can't get back above that 150 week, that 200 week, and back above this overhead, which is now resistance, is horizontal red lines, long-term weekly resistance levels, and this prior low. We can't get back above that. We start finding resistance there. I don't see, and it breaks back through this. I don't see why it couldn't come back down and test this level. We are already below the 100-week and the 200-week moving average. So for the IWM, look, it's clear. It's very dangerous to try to trade any of these charts right now. Okay, it's very dangerous. There's a lot of key overhead resistance on all of these major index ETFs. We're below the 5-day downward trending 5-day moving average. It's too late to short now. If a person didn't, this is not financial advice. Of course, it's not. But if a person did not trade, last Thursday was a pivot. If I would have missed the pivot last Thursday, I would just have to wait. It's too late. Can't chase it. Okay, you got to wait for the next opportunity. It's already gone. All right. Look at this here back in 2020 right here. This green line right here. This green line right here above is the line of closing prices. This is our green line of closing prices. If I just put a horizontal line right across those 2020 highs right here, I'm going to put a horizontal line across those 2020 highs. Okay. Price is not broken back below that, as you can see. Look, we're going to go into this later on. But I just wanted to show you something on this weekly chart. You see prices, the closing prices are not back below those highs from back here in March 2020. Well, guess what? Let's do our on-balance volume analysis real quick, and we're going to stop right here. Be careful. Watch yourself. Watch everything moving. We do. Okay, here's a vertical line, and that's a horizontal line going across the top. Well, if I put another horizontal line on the on-balance volume, right, going above its tops, well, what do you see? The volume is out. Okay, you see this here? The volume is out on the weekly chart. It had broke back below the volume. The accumulative volume has already broken back below. Broken back below its March, okay, 2020 highs. Prices has not yet, but the volume has. The volume is telling you that the people, the big institutional investors, have been selling the IWM for a long time. But they can't hide from us because we watch everything moving. We're watching them with our good eye. As my mama used to say, I got my good eye on you, boy. All right? We watching them with our good eye. We got both eyes open, but we got our good eye on them. All right? So, until the next video, y'all, we have to watch out. We're not doing anything. It's trading below a 5-day moving average. All of them are. Downward trending, 5-day moving average. Look, be careful. All right? We're going to be doing picking up with our FANG MT stocks. I don't see how the market could go up without the FANG MT doing it, the Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, hey, they got to go, all right? In order for this market, they got to stabilize and bottom in order for these major market indexes to go up. Because why? Like we said before, they're controlling 30 and 50% of the total market capitalization. They make up the largest percentages of those ETFs, those indexes. So we have to see them stabilize. So we're going to watch them all. Okay, we're going to now, this is the time to start putting together your watch list. We're going to be constructing the watch list. We're going to be putting it up and giving it out to our members on browntradingacademy.com. And we're going to watch that watch list. We're looking for strong, financially strong balance sheets, companies that are making money with low debt and growing, okay? Growing its profits and earnings, sales and profits. Profits margin still holding on strong. That's what we're looking for in this downturn. Okay, see you in the next video.